Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to explore a concept that can fundamentally transform the way you experience your life, learning to act as if nothing bothers you. Now, I know at first glance this might seem like some kind of avoidance strategy or maybe even denial, but I assure you it is far from that. This practice is about reclaiming your power, mastering your internal world, and stepping into a higher level of consciousness where external conditions no longer dictate your inner state. Master your mind. Mastering your mind is the foundation of learning to act as if nothing bothers you. It begins with understanding that the mind is not a passive observer, but an active creator of your reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every reaction you have is shaped by your mind. And while we may often believe that external events cause our stress or frustration, it's really our interpretation of those events, our mental narrative, that holds the real power over our emotional state. To truly act as if nothing bothers you, you must first become the master of this inner narrative. Most of us live in a state where our minds are on autopilot. We react to situations based on ingrained patterns, habits, and past conditioning. When something happens that we perceive as negative, someone cuts us off in traffic, a colleague criticizes our work, or we face an unexpected setback, we instantly react. We may feel anger, frustration, or stress, and we allow those feelings to take over, often without even realizing we had a choice in the matter. But here's the key: you always have a choice. You have the power to decide how you will respond to any situation. The problem is that, for most people, this choice is buried under layers of habitual reactions. Mastering your mind is about bringing that choice to the forefront so that you no longer feel at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. The first step in mastering your mind is developing awareness. You cannot change what you are unaware of. So begin by observing your thoughts and reactions without judgment. Pay attention to how quickly your mind moves to a state of reaction when something bothers you. Notice the thoughts that arise, the stories you tell yourself about what is happening, and how those stories shape your emotions. For example, imagine you're having a difficult day at work. A client sends an email criticizing your latest project. Instantly, your mind starts running. I'm not good enough. They don't appreciate my hard work, or why is everything always going wrong? These thoughts create a cascade of negative emotions, frustration, stress, and maybe even self-doubt. But here's the thing: the email itself is neutral. It's just words on a screen. It's your mind's interpretation of those words that causes the emotional reaction. By becoming aware of these automatic thoughts, you create a space between the event and your reaction. In that space, you have the power to choose a different response. Instead of spiraling into frustration or self-doubt, you can take a breath, observe your thoughts, and recognize them for what they are: just thoughts. They are not facts, and they do not have to define your emotional state. Once you have developed this awareness, the next step is learning to redirect your focus. As I mentioned earlier, where attention goes, energy flows. If you constantly focus on what's bothering you, you'll continue to amplify that energy. But if you shift your focus to something more empowering, like the opportunity for growth, the lessons you can learn from a situation, or simply the present moment, you begin to change your inner state. Let's revisit the work example. After receiving the critical email, instead of letting your mind dwell on negative thoughts, you could shift your focus to something constructive. What can I learn from this feedback? Or how can I improve next time? This doesn't mean you ignore the situation or deny your emotions. It means you consciously choose to focus on solutions rather than problems, on growth rather than frustration. In doing so, you reclaim your power over the situation. Mastering your mind also requires you to detach from external outcomes. So much of our emotional turbulence comes from our attachment to things we cannot control. We want people to behave in certain ways, situations to unfold according to our expectations, and life to go smoothly without any bumps in the road. But life is unpredictable, and people are complex. Trying to control everything outside of yourself is a recipe for constant frustration. Instead, shift your focus inward. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Detach from the need for external validation, for things to go exactly as you planned, or for people to behave in ways that make you feel comfortable. The more you release this attachment, the less you will be affected by external events. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or apathetic. It means recognizing that your inner peace is too valuable to be dictated by things beyond your control. When you learn to cultivate this inner detachment, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of life's ups and downs. You remain centered, calm, and focused regardless of what's happening around you. Finally, mastering your mind requires discipline. This is not a one time effort, it's a daily practice. Each time you catch yourself reacting to something that bothers you, you have the opportunity to practice mastery. It might feel challenging at first, but like any skill, it gets easier with practice. The more you train your mind to observe rather than react, to focus on what empowers you rather than what disturbs you, the more natural it becomes. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. Neuroscience shows that our thoughts and behaviors create neural pathways in the brain, and the more we engage in a particular thought pattern or behavior, the stronger that pathway becomes. By consistently choosing to act as if nothing bothers you, you are literally reshaping your brain, making it easier for you to maintain calm, clarity, and focus in any situation. In conclusion, mastering your mind is the first and most essential step in learning to act as if nothing bothers you. It's about developing awareness, choosing where to focus your attention, detaching from external outcomes, and committing to the daily practice of mental discipline. When you become the master of your mind, you become the master of your life. Detach from the external. Detaching from the external is a powerful practice that allows you to reclaim your inner peace and maintain emotional balance no matter what life throws at you. It involves releasing the grip that outside circumstances, people, and events have on your emotional state. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by expectations, outcomes, and the behavior of others, detaching from the external is about finding stability within, even when everything around you feels chaotic or uncertain. At the core of detaching from the external is recognizing that we are often conditioned to rely on external factors to dictate how we feel. We base our happiness on how others perceive us, whether we succeed or fail in our endeavors, or how smoothly our plans unfold. Our emotional states are often directly tied to these outcomes. We feel happy when things go well, and we feel anxious, frustrated, or sad when they don't. However, this creates an unstable emotional foundation because external conditions are always changing and largely outside of our control. To detach from the external, the first realization we must embrace is that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. This means that we need to shift our focus from what is happening around us to what is happening around us to what is happening within us. When we allow external events or people to dictate our emotional state, we are essentially handing over our power. But by detaching, we reclaim the power and realize that no matter what happens outside of us, we have the choice to maintain our inner peace. Consider the following scenario: you're working on an important project, and despite your best efforts, the outcome isn't what you expected. Maybe a client criticizes your work, or perhaps the project falls short of your expectations. If your emotional well being is tied to that external result, you might feel disappointment, frustration, or even self doubt. However, if you have cultivated the practice of detachment, you can observe the outcome without letting it disturb your inner peace. You can acknowledge that while the external situation may not have gone as planned, it does not define your worth or your ability. You detach from the outcome and maintain your emotional equilibrium. This ability to detach from external outcomes is incredibly freeing. It allows you to engage fully in life without being so invested in specific results that your happiness depends on them. When you detach, you don't lose your drive or ambition, but you approach your goals with a sense of openness and flexibility. You work hard and strive for excellence, but you understand that the outcome is not entirely within your control. Life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, things may not always go as we expect. By detaching, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure, learning to embrace whatever comes with grace and resilience. Another key aspect of detaching from the external is releasing the need for validation from others. So many of us are conditioned to seek approval and acceptance from those around us, whether it's from friends, family, colleagues, or society at large. We tailor our actions, behaviors, and even our goals to fit the expectations of others, often losing sight of our authentic selves in the process. This constant pursuit of external validation is exhausting and ultimately unsustainable. Why? Because people's opinions are constantly shifting, and you cannot please everyone. If you tie your sense of self worth to how others see you, you will forever be at their mercy. Detaching from the need for external validation means grounding your self worth in something much deeper: your own internal sense of value. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you don't need others to confirm your worthiness. You no longer seek approval and you stop fearing rejection because you understand that other people's opinions are reflections of their own perspectives, not absolute truths about you. By detaching from the opinions of others, you free yourself to live authentically, in alignment with your own values and desires, rather than constantly molding yourself to fit the expectations of those around you. The next level of detaching from the external involves letting go of control over how others behave. Often, our emotional responses are heavily influenced by how other people treat us. If someone is kind, we feel good. If they are rude or dismissive, we feel hurt or angry. But when you detach from the actions of others, you realize that their behavior is not something you can control and it doesn't have to dictate how you feel. Detaching from the behavior of others doesn't mean you become indifferent or aloof. It means you stop letting their actions determine your emotional state. You can observe their behavior without taking it personally or allowing it to disturb your peace. For example, if a colleague at work is critical or dismissive, you can choose not to engage emotionally. You might recognize that their criticism is more about them, their stress, their insecurities, than it is about you. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you can remain centered and composed, knowing that you control your own emotional responses. Detachment also involves letting go of rigid expectations about how life should unfold. We often have specific ideas about how our lives should look, how our careers should progress, how relationships should evolve, or how we should achieve our goals. When things don't go according to plan, we can feel disappointed or frustrated. However, detaching from the need for life to follow a specific script allows you to embrace uncertainty and flow with whatever comes your way. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. When you are too attached to a particular outcome or timeline, you create resistance and frustration when things don't go as planned. But when you detach from rigid expectations, you open yourself to the possibility that life may have something different and potentially even better in store for you. You remain flexible, adaptable, and open to the flow of life, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, even if it doesn't match your original vision. In conclusion, detaching from the external is about shifting your focus from the ever changing world around you to the stable and constant center within you. It means releasing your need for external validation, letting go of control over how others behave, and embracing the uncertainty of life. When you detach from the external, you reclaim your power, allowing yourself to experience inner peace, emotional balance, and resilience no matter what challenges or surprises life brings. Detachment doesn't mean disengagement, it means finding freedom in your ability to choose how you respond to the world rather than letting the world dictate your inner state. Cultivate emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to navigate through life's inevitable ups and downs with a sense of inner strength and stability. It's not about avoiding pain or difficulty, but about developing the mental and emotional tools to handle them in a way that doesn't overwhelm or paralyze you. Learning to act as if nothing bothers you requires cultivating this resilience so that no matter what challenges you face, you remain grounded, composed, and focused. At the heart of emotional resilience is the understanding that emotions are temporary, and no matter how intense a feeling may be, it will eventually pass. When something bothers us, whether it's an unexpected setback, a personal conflict, or an external stressor, our initial emotional reaction can feel overwhelming. We might feel anger, frustration, sadness, or anxiety, and those emotions can consume us if we let them. But emotional resilience teaches us to take a step back, observe the emotion, and recognize that it's just a passing state. It doesn't define us, and we don't need to cling to it. One of the key practices in cultivating emotional resilience is learning to manage your emotional triggers. These are the situations or events that provoke a strong emotional reaction in you. For some, it might be criticism. For others, it could be rejection, failure, or confrontation. The first step is identifying these triggers. What are the situations that consistently push your buttons? What kinds of people or events tend to elicit a strong emotional response from you? Once you've identified your triggers, you can begin to manage them more effectively. The goal is not to eliminate your emotional reactions entirely. As humans, we are naturally emotional beings, and it's perfectly normal to feel upset, angry, or frustrated from time to time. But emotional resilience is about not letting those feelings control you. It's about acknowledging the emotion without allowing it to dictate your behavior or disrupt your inner peace. When you feel triggered, emotional resilience helps you create a pause between the event and your reaction. In that pause, you gain the clarity to choose how you want to respond, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Another crucial element of emotional resilience is self compassion. We often think of resilience as being tough or stoic, but true resilience includes being kind to yourself in moments of difficulty. When life gets hard, it's easy to fall into patterns of self criticism, especially when things don't go the way we planned. We might tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we failed, or that we'll never succeed. These negative self talk patterns can erode our emotional strength over time, making it harder to bounce back from challenges. But self compassion helps to soften this harsh inner dialogue. It reminds us that everyone struggles and that making mistakes or facing adversity doesn't make us less worthy or capable. When you treat yourself with kindness and understanding, you build a strong emotional foundation from which to face life's challenges. You stop being your own worst critic and start becoming your own strongest supporter, which in turn strengthens your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Building emotional resilience also involves expanding your capacity for discomfort. Many people shy away from difficult emotions, trying to suppress or avoid them. But avoiding discomfort doesn't make it go away. It only prolongs the pain or pushes it deeper into our subconscious, where it can manifest in other ways like stress, anxiety, or physical illness. Emotional resilience requires you to face discomfort head on, to sit with your difficult emotions and allow yourself to feel them fully without judgment or resistance. This process of sitting with discomfort teaches you that you are strong enough to handle whatever emotions arise. You don't need to fear them, nor do you need to react impulsively to them. By allowing yourself to feel your emotions without trying to escape them, you build a deeper level of emotional strength. You come to understand that emotions are simply energy in motion, and while they can be intense, they are not permanent. This understanding helps you maintain your emotional balance even in the face of difficult or painful situations. An essential practice in cultivating emotional resilience is shifting your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance. When we resist what's happening, whether it's a difficult conversation, a disappointment, or an unexpected change, we create internal friction. Resistance is like fighting against the current of life, and it drains us emotionally. But when we practice acceptance, we release that resistance and allow ourselves to flow with life's natural rhythm. Acceptance doesn't mean passively accepting things that are harmful or unjust. It means accepting what is in the present moment without wishing it were different. It's about acknowledging reality as it is, and then deciding how to move forward from a place of clarity rather than frustration. For example, if you're facing a difficult situation at work, instead of resisting it and becoming emotionally entangled in frustration or stress, you accept the situation as it is and focus on what you can control: your actions, your thoughts, and your responses. Another critical component of emotional resilience is building a strong support network. While resilience is often thought of as an individual trait, the truth is that emotional resilience is strengthened through connection with others. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift, support, and encourage you is essential for maintaining emotional balance during tough times. These connections offer a sense of belonging and remind you that you are not alone in your struggles. When you share your challenges with others who understand, you reduce the emotional weight of those challenges. A supportive network provides perspective, encouragement, and sometimes a reminder to be gentle with yourself. It's not about relying on others to solve your problems, but about knowing that you have people in your corner who can help you navigate through the storms of life. Lastly, cultivating emotional resilience involves practicing gratitude and reframing challenges. When you experience hardship, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong. But emotional resilience teaches you to look for the lessons or opportunities within the difficulty. Every challenge holds the potential for growth, and when you shift your perspective to see obstacles as opportunities, you empower yourself to move forward with a greater sense of purpose and strength. Gratitude plays a key role in this process. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you create a sense of abundance even in difficult times. Gratitude shifts your emotional state from one of scarcity or frustration to one of appreciation, which helps you remain grounded and positive no matter what challenges you face. In conclusion, cultivating emotional resilience is about developing the inner strength to navigate life's challenges without becoming overwhelmed or consumed by them. It's about managing your triggers, practicing self compassion, embracing discomfort, and shifting your mindset from resistance to acceptance. By building a strong support network and practicing gratitude, you can maintain emotional balance and bounce back from adversity with grace and strength. Emotional resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about facing them with confidence and a deep understanding that you have the tools to handle whatever comes your way. Focus on what you can control. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, one of the most liberating realizations you can have is understanding that there are only certain things within your control. When you learn to focus on what you can control and let go of the rest, you free yourself from the constant stress and anxiety that comes from trying to manage or change things that are beyond your influence. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not about denying or ignoring life's challenges, but about recognizing the limits of your power and choosing to direct your energy toward what you can actually influence. The truth is, much of our suffering comes from trying to control external circumstances. We want situations to unfold a certain way. We want people to behave in ways that align with our expectations, and we want the outcomes of our efforts to match our desires. But life doesn't always work that way. Events happen beyond our control, people act unpredictably, and outcomes often differ from what we had envisioned. When we attach ourselves to the need to control these external factors, we set ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and emotional turmoil. However, when we shift our focus to what we can control our thoughts, reactions, and behaviors, we reclaim our sense of agency and reduce unnecessary stress. The key to focusing on what you can control lies in understanding the difference between what is within your influence and what is not. This distinction is crucial because it allows you to allocate your time, energy, and attention in ways that are productive and empowering. For example, you can't control how others think or feel about you, but you can control how you respond to their opinions. You can't control the outcome of a situation, but you can control the effort you put into it and the attitude you bring to the process. You can't control the challenges that life throws your way, but you can control how you choose to face those challenges, whether with fear and resistance or with courage and resilience. Focusing on what you can control begins with taking responsibility for your own actions and choices. This means understanding that while you cannot dictate external events, you always have a choice in how you respond to them. You are the master of your internal world, and your thoughts, feelings, and reactions are within your control. For instance, if you are faced with a difficult situation, you may not be able to change the circumstances, but you can choose to approach the situation with a calm and clear mind. You can choose to look for solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. And you can choose to maintain a positive outlook rather than succumbing to negativity. This mindset shift is empowering because it reminds you that you are not a passive victim of life's events. You have the power to shape your experience by focusing on the aspects of life that are within your control. When you stop trying to control everything outside of yourself, you conserve your energy and direct it toward actions that can make a real difference. This not only helps you stay calm and composed in the face of adversity, but it also increases your effectiveness in handling life's challenges. You become more proactive, resilient, and focused because you are no longer wasting energy on things you cannot change. A powerful example of focusing on what you can control is seen in relationships. Many of us struggle with trying to change other people's behavior or attitudes. We may wish that our partner, friend, or family member would act differently or see things from our perspective. But the reality is, you cannot control how others behave or think. The only thing you can control is how you engage with them, how you communicate, and how you set boundaries. When you stop trying to control others and focus on your own actions, you create healthier and more balanced relationships. You learn to let go of unrealistic expectations and accept people as they are, while also taking responsibility for how you show up in the relationship. Focusing on what you can control also plays a crucial role in managing stress and anxiety. Many people experience anxiety because they are preoccupied with things they have no control over the future, other people's opinions, or potential problems that may never even materialize. This kind of thinking drains your mental energy and keeps you in a constant state of worry. However, by bringing your attention back to what you can control, you ground yourself in the present moment. You realize that while you can't predict or change the future, you can take steps right now to prepare for it. By focusing on the actions you can take in the present, you reduce feelings of helplessness and regain a sense of control over your life. One of the most valuable tools for staying focused on what you can control is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps you become aware of your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. When you practice mindfulness, you develop the ability to observe your reactions to external events without immediately trying to change or control them. You can acknowledge your feelings, whether they are of frustration, anger, or sadness, without letting them dictate your actions. This creates space between you and the situation, allowing you to choose a more thoughtful and intentional response. Mindfulness also helps you cultivate acceptance, which is a key component of focusing on what you can control. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up, it means acknowledging reality as it is without resistance. When you accept that some things are beyond your control, you stop wasting energy trying to change them. Instead, you redirect your focus to what you can influence, which allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose. For example, if you lose a job opportunity, you can accept that the decision is out of your hands and focus on what you can control: updating your resume, applying for new positions, or honing your skills. This shift in focus keeps you empowered and engaged rather than stuck in frustration over something you cannot change. Moreover, focusing on what you can control encourages you to develop resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges or hardships, but about learning how to navigate them effectively. When you focus on what you can control, you become more adaptable in the face of adversity. You stop trying to resist or control the uncontrollable, and instead you find ways to work with the circumstances at hand. This makes you more flexible, resourceful, and capable of bouncing back from setbacks. In essence, focusing on what you can control is about reclaiming your personal power. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. By shifting your focus from the external world to your internal responses, you free yourself from the frustration and anxiety that come from trying to manage the uncontrollable. You become more resilient, more focused, and ultimately more at peace with whatever life throws your way. It's not about acting as if nothing bothers you, it's about understanding that no matter what happens, you have the ability to remain grounded, calm, and in control of your own experience. Stay present and grounded. Staying present and grounded is a transformative practice that allows you to cultivate a sense of peace and clarity in the midst of life's chaos. It is the act of focusing your awareness on the present moment rather than getting lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future. When you learn to stay present, you connect deeply with what is happening right now, giving you the mental and emotional space to act with intention and calm, even when circumstances around you are challenging. Learning to act as if nothing bothers you is rooted in this ability to be present and grounded, as it prevents external situations from hijacking your inner state. The mind is naturally inclined to wander. It tends to dwell on past events, sometimes reliving mistakes, regrets, or missed opportunities, or it leaps ahead to the future, filled with anxiety about what might happen or what needs to be done. When we are caught in this cycle, we are not fully engaged with the present moment. Our attention is fragmented, and we lose touch with the reality of what is happening right now. This disconnection from the present can lead to heightened stress, emotional turmoil, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Staying present is the antidote to this mental fragmentation. When you bring your awareness to the present moment, you interrupt the cycle of ruminating on the past or worrying about the future. You create a space in which you can observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. This space is crucial for acting as if nothing bothers you, because it gives you the clarity and perspective to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. One of the most effective ways to stay present is through mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is the intentional act of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It invites you to fully experience whatever is happening right now, whether it's a conversation with a friend, a task at work, or even something as simple as washing the dishes. By focusing your attention on the here and now, you cultivate a deeper awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. This heightened awareness allows you to notice when your mind starts to wander into unproductive or stressful territory, and it gives you the opportunity to gently bring your focus back to the present. When you practice mindfulness, you also develop the ability to observe your emotions without becoming entangled in them. For instance, if something triggers anger or frustration, mindfulness allows you to notice the emotion without immediately acting on it. You recognize the feeling, but you don't let it dictate your behavior. This ability to pause and observe creates a buffer between you and your emotions, which is essential for acting as if nothing bothers you. You are no longer at the mercy of your feelings. Instead, you are able to maintain your composure and respond with intention. Another powerful way to stay present and grounded is by connecting with your body. The body is always in the present moment, even when the mind is elsewhere. By tuning into physical sensations, you anchor yourself in the here and now. Simple practices like focusing on your breath, feeling the weight of your body on the ground, or paying attention to the sensation of your hands touching the surface can immediately bring you back to the present. These grounding techniques are especially helpful in moments of stress or anxiety when the mind is racing or overwhelmed by external pressures. By shifting your focus to your body and its connection to the present, you can calm your mind and regain a sense of stability. Breath awareness is one of the most accessible and effective grounding tools. By focusing on your breath, you create an immediate link to the present moment. The breath is always with you, and by paying attention to its natural rhythm, you can slow down your thoughts and bring yourself back into balance. Taking slow, deep breaths can help calm the nervous system, reducing the physical sensations of stress or anxiety, and allowing you to respond more calmly to whatever is happening around you. This simple practice can be done anywhere, anytime, making it a powerful tool for staying present and grounded in everyday life. Staying present also involves letting go of the need to constantly be in control of the future. Often we feel unsettled because we are trying to predict, plan, or control what will happen next. While some level of planning is necessary for life, it's important to recognize when this focus on the future becomes excessive or unproductive. The more we try to control the future, the more anxious and disconnected we become from the present. By staying grounded in the here and now, you can trust that you have the capacity to handle whatever the future brings without needing to micromanage every detail. Letting go of the future doesn't mean being unprepared or indifferent. It means releasing the constant mental chatter that tries to anticipate every possible outcome. When you stop trying to live in the future, you can fully immerse yourself in the present moment, where life is actually happening. This allows you to be more engaged, more aware, and more responsive to the opportunities and challenges that arise in the moment. Rather than worrying about what might happen tomorrow, you focus on what you can do today, right now, in this moment. Staying present and grounded also strengthens your ability to cultivate gratitude. When you are fully present, you are more likely to notice the small, beautiful moments in life that often go unnoticed. You become more aware of the things you have to be grateful for: the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a loved one, the satisfaction of completing a task. Gratitude naturally arises when you are present because you are not distracted by worries about the past or future. This sense of gratitude helps you stay centered and resilient, even in difficult times. It reminds you that there is always something to appreciate, no matter what challenges you may be facing. Being present and grounded also fosters a greater sense of connection, not only with yourself, but also with others. When you are fully present with someone, you listen more deeply, you engage more authentically, and you respond with greater empathy and understanding. This presence strengthens your relationships as people feel truly seen and heard when you are not distracted or mentally elsewhere. Acting as if nothing bothers you in social interactions becomes easier because you are fully engaged in the moment rather than caught up in your own internal dialogue or preoccupations. In conclusion, staying present and grounded is a vital practice for maintaining emotional balance and inner peace. By focusing on the present moment, you free yourself from the mental strain of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Mindfulness, breath awareness, and physical grounding techniques help anchor you in the here and now, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with clarity and composure. Letting go of the need to control the future and cultivating gratitude for the present moment deepens your sense of peace and resilience. When you stay present and grounded, you create a stable foundation from which you can navigate life's ups and downs, acting as if nothing bothers you because you are fully connected to the present, where you have the most power and agency. Master the art of detachment. Mastering the art of detachment is one of the most profound ways to cultivate inner peace and act as if nothing bothers you, regardless of external circumstances. Detachment is not about becoming indifferent or uncaring, but rather about cultivating a healthy emotional distance from outcomes, expectations, and external events. It is the ability to engage with life fully and passionately while simultaneously letting go of the need to control, possess, or be defined by what happens around you. Detachment allows you to remain centered and grounded no matter what chaos or uncertainty is unfolding outside of you. When you are attached to specific outcomes or expectations, you set yourself up for emotional turbulence. You become invested in how things should turn out, how people should behave, or how situations should unfold. This attachment often leads to disappointment, frustration, or even anxiety when reality does not match your expectations. By mastering detachment, you free yourself from this emotional roller coaster. You stop needing things to go a certain way in order to feel at peace, and you begin to accept life as it is without resisting or clinging to any particular result. At its core, detachment is about letting go of control and surrendering to the flow of life. This does not mean giving up on your goals, desires, or efforts. In fact, you can still pursue your dreams and work toward meaningful achievements while practicing detachment. The key difference is that with detachment, you are no longer emotionally dependent on the outcome. You do your best, but you release the need for things to go exactly as you planned. This creates a sense of inner freedom because your sense of self worth and happiness is no longer tied to external results. For example, consider a situation where you are applying for a job or seeking a promotion. Naturally, you want to succeed and you invest time and effort into preparing for the opportunity. However, if you are attached to the outcome, believing that your happiness or success depends on getting that job, you may experience heightened anxiety, stress, or disappointment if it doesn't work out. Detachment, on the other hand, allows you to approach the situation with a sense of inner calm. You still put in the effort, but you understand that your value is not defined by whether or not you get the job. You trust that regardless of the outcome, you will be okay and that new opportunities will always arise. One of the greatest benefits of detachment is that it liberates you from emotional reactions to external events. When you are attached to outcomes or circumstances, you become more susceptible to emotional triggers. Every disappointment, setback, or rejection feels personal, and it can stir up feelings of frustration, anger, or self doubt. Detachment helps you cultivate a state of inner equilibrium, where you are less reactive to external situations. You begin to see events as neutral rather than as good or bad, and this neutrality allows you to maintain your emotional balance. For instance, if someone criticizes you or disagrees with your opinion, detachment allows you to take a step back and observe the situation without getting defensive or upset. Instead of taking the criticism personally, you can view it as a reflection of the other person's perspective and not a statement about your worth or abilities. This doesn't mean you ignore feedback or refuse to engage in meaningful dialogue, but rather that you do so from a place of calm and self assurance. By detaching from the need for approval or validation from others, you create emotional space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Detachment also plays a crucial role in managing expectations, which are often a source of disappointment or frustration. Many of us enter situations, whether in relationships, careers, or personal goals, with a set of expectations about how things should go. We expect people to behave in certain ways, expect projects to be successful, or expect life to unfold according to our plans. However, when reality deviates from these expectations, it can leave us feeling disillusioned or upset. Detachment teaches us to let go of rigid expectations and to approach life with a sense of openness and flexibility. Instead of being fixated on a specific outcome, you learn to embrace the uncertainty of life, trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. This approach is particularly helpful in relationships, where attachment to specific outcomes can create tension and conflict. When you are overly attached to how you think your partner, friend, or family member should behave, you place unnecessary pressure on the relationship. You may become disappointed or resentful when they don't meet your expectations, leading to emotional strain. Detachment, however, allows you to love and support others without trying to control or change them. You accept people as they are without placing conditions on your relationship or happiness. This not only improves the quality of your relationships, but also frees you from the emotional burden of trying to manage someone else's behavior. Another key aspect of detachment is letting go of the past. Many of us carry emotional baggage from past experiences, whether it's regret over missed opportunities, resentment towards someone who wronged us, or guilt about mistakes we've made. These emotional attachments keep us tethered to the past, preventing us from fully embracing the present. Detachment involves releasing these emotional ties and allowing yourself to move forward without being weighed down by past events. By letting go of the past, you create space for new experiences and opportunities to enter your life. Learning to detach also enhances your ability to live in the present moment. When you are constantly focused on what has already happened or what might happen in the future, you miss out on the richness of the present. Detachment helps you stay anchored in the here and now, where life is actually happening. You stop being consumed by worries about what could go wrong, and instead you learn to appreciate and engage with the present moment. This presence brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be found in attachment to outcomes or expectations. Detachment is closely linked to the concept of non attachment in many spiritual traditions, where it is seen as a path to inner freedom and enlightenment. In this context, non attachment does not mean avoiding life's challenges or responsibilities, but rather engaging with life from a place of equanimity and inner peace. It is about recognizing that everything in life is impermanent, and that clinging to anything, whether it's a job, a relationship, or material possessions, only creates suffering. By embracing detachment, you develop a deep sense of trust in the unfolding of life, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way without being defined by it. In conclusion, mastering the art of detachment is a powerful practice that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. It frees you from the emotional highs and lows that come from being overly attached to outcomes, expectations, or the actions of others. By letting go of the need to control or possess, you create space for peace, clarity, and resilience. Detachment enables you to engage with life fully while remaining grounded and centered, regardless of what happens around you. This inner freedom allows you to act as if nothing bothers you because you are no longer tied to external events for your sense of peace or happiness. Choose your battles wisely. Choosing your battles wisely is an essential principle for anyone seeking to act as if nothing bothers them. In life, we are constantly confronted with situations, people, and circumstances that have the potential to disrupt our inner peace. Not everything that happens around us deserves our emotional or mental energy. By learning to discern what truly matters and what is worth our attention, we conserve our energy for the things that are most important and meaningful. Choosing your battles wisely is about recognizing that not every problem needs to be solved, not every argument needs to be won, and not every slight or inconvenience deserves a reaction. It is a mindset that allows you to stay calm, composed, and focused on what truly matters. When you choose your battles wisely, you develop a sense of perspective about life's challenges. Not everything that happens is equally significant, yet often we react to small annoyances or minor setbacks as if they are major crises. This tendency to overreact can lead to unnecessary stress, conflict, and emotional exhaustion. By practicing discernment, you begin to see the difference between what is truly important and what is simply noise. You realize that many of the things that upset or frustrate you are temporary, trivial, or outside of your control. Once you grasp this, you can let go of the need to respond to every minor irritation and instead focus your energy on the things that truly matter. A crucial aspect of choosing your battles wisely is understanding your priorities. What are the most important values, goals, and relationships in your life? When you are clear about what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to filter out the distractions and focus on what aligns with your core values. For instance, if your priority is maintaining a peaceful and harmonious relationship with your loved ones, you might choose to let go of minor disagreements or differences of opinion rather than engaging in a heated argument. If your goal is to achieve long term success in your career, you might choose to ignore petty office politics or gossip and instead concentrate on developing your skills and building positive relationships with your colleagues. This approach doesn't mean avoiding conflict or challenges altogether. There are times when it is important to stand up for yourself, assert your boundaries, or address an issue head on. However, by choosing your battles wisely, you ensure that when you do engage, it is for something that truly matters. You are no longer reacting to every slight or inconvenience, but instead, you are acting with intention and purpose. This helps you stay grounded and composed even in difficult situations because you know that you are choosing to engage for the right reasons. Choosing your battles wisely also involves accepting that not everything can be changed or controlled. Many of the things that upset or bother us are beyond our influence. For instance, you cannot change someone else's behavior, alter the past, or control external circumstances. When you try to fight against things that are outside of your control, you waste valuable energy and set yourself up for frustration. By recognizing the limits of your influence, you free yourself from the need to engage in futile battles. Instead, you can focus on what you can control: your own actions, reactions, and mindset. This shift in focus allows you to stay calm and centered, even in situations where you might otherwise feel powerless. One of the most empowering aspects of choosing your battles wisely is that it helps you cultivate emotional resilience. When you stop reacting to every little provocation or challenge, You build emotional strength. You become less reactive and more proactive in how you handle life's ups and downs. This resilience allows you to stay composed and grounded, even when faced with difficult or stressful situations. You no longer feel the need to respond to every challenge or defend yourself against every perceived threat, because you have developed the inner confidence to know that not everything requires your attention or reaction. Moreover, choosing your battles wisely helps you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Life is full of distractions and challenges, and if you spread yourself too thin by trying to address every problem or issue that arises, you will quickly become exhausted and overwhelmed. By being selective about where you direct your energy, you ensure that you have the mental, emotional, and physical resources to tackle the challenges that are most important to you. This might mean letting go of small frustrations, ignoring negative comments, or choosing not to engage in unnecessary conflicts. By doing so, you reserve your energy for the things that truly align with your goals and values. Choosing your battles wisely also has a significant impact on your relationships. Many conflicts in relationships, whether with friends, family, or colleagues, are sparked by misunderstandings, miscommunications, or differences of opinion. When you react to every minor issue or try to win every argument, you create tension and strain in the relationship. However, when you choose your battles wisely, you learn to let go of the small stuff and focus on what truly matters. This not only reduces conflict, but also fosters a sense of mutual respect and understanding. You begin to prioritize the health and harmony of the relationship over the need to be right or to win. This shift in mindset creates a more positive and supportive dynamic where both parties feel heard and respected. In addition, choosing your battles wisely helps you cultivate a sense of peace. When you are no longer reacting to every annoyance or inconvenience, you create space for calm and clarity in your life. You stop getting caught up in the drama or chaos of external events, and instead you maintain a sense of inner stability. This peace is not about avoiding challenges or pretending that problems don't exist, but rather about recognizing that you have the power to choose where you direct your energy and attention. By focusing on what truly matters, you create a sense of peace and balance in your life, even in the face of adversity. Ultimately, choosing your battles wisely is about empowerment. It is about taking control of your life and your reactions rather than being at the mercy of external events or other people's behavior. It allows you to act from a place of calm and clarity rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. This sense of empowerment helps you stay grounded and composed, even in challenging situations. You no longer feel the need to fight every battle or defend yourself against every slight because you have developed the inner strength and confidence to know that not everything requires your attention. You become more selective about where you direct your energy, and as a result, you are able to maintain your peace, focus on your goals, and act with intention and purpose. In conclusion, choosing your battles wisely is a powerful practice that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. By discerning what truly matters and letting go of the need to react to every minor issue, you conserve your energy for the things that are most important. This mindset fosters emotional resilience, strengthens your relationships, and helps you cultivate a sense of inner peace. By choosing your battles wisely, you create a life of greater balance, focus, and empowerment, where you are in control of your reactions and able to act with intention and clarity, regardless of what happens around you. In conclusion, the ability to act as if nothing bothers you stems from a deep sense of inner peace and control over your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. It is not about being indifferent to life or avoiding challenges, but about cultivating a mindset that prioritizes resilience, mindfulness, and discernment. By mastering practices such as staying present, grounding yourself, detaching from unnecessary outcomes, and choosing your battles wisely, you empower yourself to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. These practices allow you to break free from emotional reactivity, to see situations for what they truly are, and to respond with intention rather than impulse. You no longer allow external events to dictate your internal state. Instead, you maintain control over how you perceive and interact with the world around you. This empowerment brings a sense of calm, clarity, and strength qualities that enable you to handle life's inevitable challenges without becoming overwhelmed or reactive. By embodying these principles, you cultivate a deep sense of inner freedom. You become less concerned with how others perceive you, less attached to specific outcomes, and more at peace with the flow of life. The result is not only greater emotional resilience, but also a heightened ability to live with purpose and presence. You learn to engage with life fully and passionately, while maintaining the wisdom to let go when necessary. Ultimately, learning to act as if nothing bothers you is about choosing to be the master of your own mind and emotions, regardless of the circumstances. It is a practice that leads to greater self awareness, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of fulfillment, allowing you to face life's challenges with unwavering calm and confidence.